April 15th, 2018. That day is a day that we will never forget. Tim, you were working that day, even taking shelter in place here at the station.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I remember mostly is just, how quickly everything happened. We were tracking storms for hours that day, from the morning into the afternoon, and it wasn't until right when that storm got right over Greensboro that it formed the tornado. It formed over Greensboro, so we had minutes to act. Our power got knocked out at the station. We had to gather folks here, get shelter in the hallway just to make sure we were safe. It passed about a mile from us. Then we were back on air letting folks know what was going on. It was really scary. And then, of course, once we figured out what it was on the ground for 30 miles, and we were tracking it all the way through Rockingham County.
And Ben, you were pretty much out the door when the reports started coming in. Where did you go first?
I just went right down the street because it's that close from the station. And we didn't really know how bad the damage was until it was really late at night. And it was pitch dark, so you were walking step by step because you couldn't see anything else because it was completely dark, all the lights were out, and the damage just kept getting worse and worse. Until I got to this one woman who said that her house had been flown off its foundation and she was hugging her child during it in their bathroom, praying. It made it even worse for me because she had to leave the house that night. She went to her mother-in-law's house and they had to leave their dogs behind because the mother-in-law was allergic to the dogs. So I actually went back to that house after the news twice that night to check on the dogs because you just wanted to help somehow.
And we heard so many stories just talking to people out on the ground. I remember when I was on McConnell Road the day after, I met an elderly woman. Her house was torn to shreds. There was nothing really left of it. At the time of the tornado, she was actually trying to get home. She was at the store and a tree and a power line fell down on the road and blocked her from getting to her house 1 block away. And so she says that it was by the grace of God that that power line and that tree fell, because had she made it home, she was going to be in that house.
Wow.
Goodness gracious. Ben, when you were out there, I mean, there was so much emotion that you wanted to hug the people that were impacted by the storm, and you did that.
Yeah, I mean, these are our neighbors, these are our friends, and it hit here at home in Greensboro, and we don't think that's going to happen, but it did.
And that is my lasting memory, how everyone, despite all the damage, everyone coming together, all the donations that poured in, the charities and the organizations taking people in, accepting donations, all the money that poured in, it truly is what that t-shirt said, Greensboro Strong.